Welcome back to the lab. Thanks for tuning in today, guys, and let's get right into our topic, Perfect Dark. As we all know, the Perfect Dark reboot was first announced in December 2020 at the Game Awards. Quick aside, I remember cheering like I was at the Game Awards. I could hardly contain my excitement. I should have known my bad luck would not let this dream come to fruition.
You don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Anywho, the Perfect Dark reboot was to be ushered into existence by The Initiative, a first-party studio established by Xbox Game Studios. I mean, what could go wrong? Xbox only produces bangers. With development underway, it was nothing else to do but hurry up and wait. Finally, in the scorching month of July, we get a new trailer for the Perfect Dark reboot that sets the gaming world ablaze. Unfortunately, throughout 2024 and into 2025, Microsoft conducted a litany of layoffs in its gaming division, most recently in July 2025, affecting several subsidiaries like King, ZeniMax, and Raven Software, with hundreds of jobs cut as part of the strategy to cut costs, reduce management layers, and prioritize growth areas. These layoffs are the fourth round in 18 months and are accompanied by the cancellation of games, including Perfect Dark. So now that we're somewhat caught up with the development cycle of Perfect Dark, and most of us have moved on from the breakup,
We are so over.
Fine by me!
now let's dive into the most recent developments in the story that is Perfect Dark. New internal documents from the Initiative's Council Perfect Dark reboot project have surfaced online. The material outlined gameplay mechanics and artwork that the public never saw before, offering a clearer sense of how the shelved Perfect Dark revival was shaping up before its production stopped. In my opinion, the direction they were going in was perfect. No pun intended. Maybe it's just me, but I enjoy the futuristic type of gameplay, sort of like what you may see in Cyberpunk, and this is being flipped into a first-person shooter that was already known. Perfect Dark had so much potential and so much lore to pull from. If we would have just kept going forward, I don't understand why Microsoft, with their tons of money, didn't see the promise in completing this game. Fun fact, with the sheer amount of money Microsoft makes per year, they actually lose money if they don't spend it and it sits in the bank. So with that being said, I just wanted to bring light to my previous point that I don't understand why they didn't see the promise in this game, being that everyone has been clamoring for a reboot of Perfect Dark amongst other games. The rare library is ripe with games that longtime fans like myself and others have been waiting to see make the leap into the modern generation. Information given to us from a Game Rant article reads as follows. The leaked materials include several pieces of concept art showing location from the game's rendition of Caro. One image depicts Perfect Dark legend Joanna Dark pointing a handgun, resembling artwork the Initiative had previously shared but with noticeably messier hair, suggesting her model was revised during development. While some fans have been calling the game's aesthetic solarpunk, the leaked documents describe the setting with a related term, eco-sci-fi. Here is the image they're referring to on the screen, and honestly, I'm glad they didn't change the character model too much. I really like the design. You can see that the hair is a little different, so it's not that dissimilar from the original character model. For what it's worth, again, they were going in a great direction. 2.5 months following Perfect Dark's cancellation, some previously unseen internal documents from the project have emerged online. Having been procured by MP First, the leaked material described a first-person spy thriller set in a futuristic Caro and outlined several gameplay mechanics. One, called the adrenaline system, would treat adrenaline as a regenerating resource that players could spend on abilities such as bullet time, improved aiming, or faster movement. Another, referred to as the relentless system, is mentioned but not detailed. The systems that were mentioned seem to be basic gameplay mechanics, showing that the premise of the game was being built upon. Given the names of the mechanics, they correlate well to our protagonist Joanna Dark. The documents also suggest that the initiative was working on the game's first vertical slice until April 2025. That detail may point to one factor that contributed to the project's cancellation. If Perfect Dark began development in 2020 but remained in the vertical slice phase 5 years later, Microsoft may have decided progress was too slow to justify continuing. This might have been a risk even if the tech giant wasn't in the middle of one of its most aggressive cost-cutting efforts in recent history, which saw around 9,000 Microsoft employees laid off. The first vertical slice is mentioned as part of Season 1, which strengthens prior rumors about the reboot being envisioned as an episodic game. So, what is a vertical slice when it comes to the development of a game? That's the question. So, let me answer it. A vertical slice is a polished, playable small portion of a game that integrates all major game systems and features to demonstrate the intended quality and player experience of the final product. So imagine that they were working on this vertical slice for 5 years and never moved forward. And suddenly, I'm disabused of my notion about it being Microsoft's fault. I'm just gonna assume that this is all true and they were just stuck on that one vertical slice, only showing just the base mechanics, nothing new, not any more depth to the game itself. So of course, Microsoft had to end production of this game. But with that being said, I still feel like Microsoft has an abundance of money to maybe recycle some developers, maybe get some new ones in there, get some fresh blood to keep this game going. I think it would have been more prudent for Microsoft as a gaming company and just showing that they could finish development, because there have been so many games in the past where they've been canceled or they came out and they were horrible. But in light of Microsoft going a totally different way and putting all of their games on different systems, for Microsoft, it wouldn't have been a fruitful path to continue on with the development of Perfect Dark. Regardless of how I feel or how you feel, they decided to go in a different direction and disassemble the entire studio and move on from this game.
Why, God, why?
With the initiative shuttered, any future Perfect Dark revival would likely require a complete reboot under a different studio. The chances of that happening anytime soon currently appear slim to none. Embracer Group subsidiary Crystal Dynamic was also working on the game prior to the cancellation, and Microsoft reportedly explored the possibility of offloading the project to Take-Two Interactive before pulling the plug on it. The deal is said to have failed to materialize because Take-Two parties couldn't iron out all of the details concerning the ownership of the game and the IPs it's based on in the event of such a collaboration. Honestly, I hate the fact that the character models and the world created by the initiative won't be used in any future reboot. They did a spectacular job reimagining Joanna and creating a unique world to explore with her. So, do you think we'll get any more leaks from the Perfect Dark reboot? Did you like where the initiative was going with the game designs? Or would you rather Take-Two own the IP? Get in the comments down below and let me know your thoughts. Please, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and ninja kick that notification bell. But more importantly, remember, keep moving forward and game on.